Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button now. That way you can follow along with my journey. If you don't know me yet, my name is Rachel and I have an almost 3-year-old girl named Anne and I have a 1-year-old boy named Owen. And I am also pregnant with our third baby. I just got into the second trimester just last week. I'm 15 and a half weeks now. Things are looking up. I finally have scheduled my very first ultrasound for this pregnancy. I know that most people get an ultrasound around the beginning, somewhere around like 8 to 12 weeks or so. But because of insurance problems and confusion there, I was not able to get one very early. And so right at 16 weeks is the very earliest that I was able to get it. So here we are. We've not yet seen the baby. We've heard the baby. I have an at-home Doppler that I use regularly just to make sure the baby's okay. And now I have felt the baby too. So I felt baby first around 11 weeks. And that was just like the little tiny, barely distinguishable feeling. Starting right at 15 weeks, though, the movements started getting more pronounced and more definite. If you hear a sound, that's just because my heater just came on because it's chilly today. So yeah, now I'm feeling baby a whole lot more, and it's less questionable movement, which is awesome. I love being able to feel baby and be certain that everything's okay regularly throughout the day instead of just kind of a once every 5 or 6 days I might feel something. It still is kind of baby has to be in the right position and kind of close to the surface, I think, of my belly in order for me to feel anything. But I am feeling it a lot more. And if I poke around and prod around enough, Jared gets on to me. He's like, do not poke the baby. You're going to hurt it. I'm not going to hurt the baby. Everything's okay. Both of my bigger babies are napping right now. Anne has actually not been napping very regularly lately. Usually she just plays in her bedroom. We give her quiet time, is what we call it. So Owen goes down for a nap right around noon, and Anne gets quiet time at the same time when she's not at preschool. And the last couple of days, she has actually fallen asleep. She can go, a certain amount of days without a nap, and then she just crashes and takes a nap every day for several days. So she's sleeping. She just fell asleep, and Owen is sleeping too. So this is my time. So I almost forgot to do a belly shot for you guys, and so I'm just going to stick this little clip in right here and let you see the progress that my bump has made. So there it is. It's I don't know, I feel like it's getting bigger. I'll have to look back at the other my last video and see how big it was at that point. So how have I been feeling? That is the biggest question that any pregnant lady will be asked throughout the entire pregnancy. So the answer to that question is I'm actually feeling pretty well now. As I said, I just turned 15 weeks on last Thursday, so I am 15 weeks and 4 days today. The last video that I made, and I'll link it down below, was right at 12 weeks. I was still feeling pretty nauseous off and on the first trimester. I think I was quite a bit more nauseous this pregnancy than any of my others. I'm not really sure why, but I never did throw up. Thank goodness I was able to keep that at bay. Eating anything would just cause nausea, so that was not fun. It mostly tapered off. Around 12 weeks, I was still having some queasiness, but it wasn't like it was before. Now I'm feeling completely better. I just realized about a week ago that I hadn't had any nausea at all recently. It's really good to be past that. I have been experiencing headaches regularly, which I'm a person who gets headaches under normal circumstances. I get tightness in my neck and tension headaches. So it's not completely unheard of for me, but the ones that I've been getting recently have been worse and don't go away when I take Tylenol. I've been putting heat on my neck. Jared will rub my neck. I've used a massager thing that we have. I've taken Tylenol sparingly. I don't like taking a ton of medicine when I'm pregnant, but and drinking lots of water. Those are the things that I've done, and they have helped to some extent. I had a really bad headache yesterday, but fortunately it is gone for the most part today. So yeah, that's been something the entire pregnancy that I've just struggled with. And hopefully it will not continue for the whole pregnancy. I think it's just hormonal based right now. And so hopefully as those hormones taper off and stop increasing so dramatically, that I will go back to normal. My pelvis has been in place for the most part. The last few days, it's been doing really, really well. I've been walking well. If you miss, again, in my last video, I explained kind of what my body does and why my pelvis is usually in pain during pregnancy. So again, if you check out my last pregnancy update video, then you will understand a little bit more about that. But it's doing really well. The only time recently that it's been really in pain was when I decided to make gumbo the other day, and I was standing for literally like 4 hours straight to make the roux and to cut up vegetables and meat and cook meat and all of that kind of stuff. But it did turn out absolutely amazing. So it was worth it. But my pelvis and hips were quite sore and stiff the rest of that day and into the next day a little bit. The other thing that I have been experiencing really just yesterday and today, I've kind of had round ligament pains from the moment I found out I was pregnant. I think my uterus was just like, okay, here we go. And round ligament pains are they're long ligaments that kind of hold the uterus in place, basically, is how I understand it. And as the uterus grows and stretches, they have to grow and stretch also to accommodate. And sometimes, whenever you move wrong, or you sneeze, or you cough, or you get up too quickly, they can pull, and it really, really hurts for maybe about 10 seconds, and then it goes away. Most of my movements, any quick movements that I've been making yesterday and today, have been causing this pain, and it's not much fun. But I'm surviving, so it's okay. So I guess my uterus is probably growing, which actually about a week and a half ago, I was experiencing kind of a tightness, and you could almost call it cramping, but everything just felt tight and uncomfortable. And I think it is just my uterus kind of growing. And so my uterus grew and my round ligaments are trying to catch up, I think. So I think that that's what's going on. I don't know. My food cravings have kind of evolved, which is a good thing. I will admit that I did just eat ramen for lunch. If any of you know me, or if you've watched my previous videos, you will know that I have been just addicted to top ramen this entire pregnancy. That's what got me through the first trimester. And yeah, it's not super healthy, but it tastes really, really good. And I put sriracha in it, and that has lately been more of my craving, more so than the ramen. But I just love spice. It is so, so, so good. Today, though, I did eat the ramen with sriracha, and then I also piled on baby kale and baby spinach into the broth. And so that wilted down, and it was really, really good. So at least I'm getting some nutrition. And I'm eating a fish dinner tonight, so, that's good. As I said, sriracha has been more of my craving lately. For several days in a row, I was making this soup. So basically, I boiled down kale in chicken broth, and then I would cook an egg, and I would put sriracha in it. I would have that for lunch every day for several days, and it was absolutely incredible. As I went, I actually started cooking up onion with some garlic and putting that in it as well, and it was really absolutely amazing. So I'll probably go back to that. I went to smoothies for a few days, and so I would eat a peanut butter and banana smoothie with a lot of spinach in it, and those are incredible as well. Today is the first day that I broke, and I did eat an unhealthy lunch. As I mentioned, I ate my ramen. So my weight gain in my first trimester with both Anne and Owen, I only gained 5 pounds. Well, only. That's kind of the top of what you're supposed to gain in the first trimester. But because I've never actually thrown up in the first trimester, I have always actually gained weight. Some people will actually lose weight or not gain anything until the second trimester. I've always gained right at 30 pounds with my babies, and I've lost all of the baby weight within just a couple of months. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I know as a third pregnancy, I think I'm up against a little bit more in the weight department. I'm not focusing too much on the scale. I'm focusing more on trying to get enough nutrition and taking care of baby and making sure that both me and baby are healthy. This pregnancy so far, I have gained about 7 pounds. And as I said, I'm 15 and a half weeks now. It's not quite what I was going for because I was right at that. I haven't gained any more since last week. So right at 14 weeks, I weighed myself and I had gained 7 pounds. And so I was like, oh man, it was more than I did with either of the first 2 pregnancies. But what can you expect when you're eating ramen for lunch every day? But recently I have been more healthy. The other night I just wanted Brussels sprouts. So I made Brussels sprouts at like 9 at night. If you missed the video where I did the sneak peek test, which is an early gender prediction test, I'll link that as well. And so you can go back and watch that if you're interested. But basically, Jared and I do know the gender of this baby, and it's been really, really hard not to say. But we've known since about 11 weeks and we're 15 now. So that's kudos to me for keeping this secret. It's huge. We wanted to wait until we got the ultrasound to kind of confirm. The sneak peek is just a blood test that looks for male DNA in my bloodstream. So I guess that when you're pregnant, if you're pregnant with a boy, you have male DNA in your bloodstream. Crazy. If there is no male DNA, then they call it a girl. If they find male DNA, they call it a boy. So we wanted to confirm with ultrasound. So we are on gender watch now. So if you have a prediction about what this baby is, I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. Let me know your guesses. So I'll give you 2 little bits of information. The day before we found out the gender, I had a dream that the baby was a boy. But the next day, I had a gut feeling that it was a girl. So, depending on what you think about my intuition, whether my dream was more accurate or if my gut feeling was more accurate, I'd love to hear your guess. So, let me know what you think after Thursday. So, either Thursday or Friday, I'll try to make a video to announce the gender and let you all know what the truth is. So keep an eye out for that. I forgot one symptom that I've experienced just in the last few days. I think that I've had some Braxton Hicks contractions. My uterus is still kind of low, and so it's not like my whole belly tightening up like what I'm used to with Braxton Hicks, but I'm getting that like tight pulling feeling in my uterus. And so I think that I'm experiencing those. I will know a little bit better as time goes on. We'll see, but I'm pretty sure that I'm experiencing some really early Braxton Hicks contractions. So that's exciting. I mean, it just makes everything feel more real. So I'm probably forgetting something in this video, but I don't know what else I have to add at this point. So again, please subscribe if you haven't yet, and that way you can keep track of everything going on in this pregnancy. And I also post some other videos as well. So if you're interested in following along with my journey, please subscribe and like this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what gender you think this baby is. I will see you soon.